All right, welcome into another edition of Sports Talk with Sports Director Jon-Sokoloff. And John, a big day today.
Yeah.
SEC basketball schedules for the men and the women were released today, and now we have some extra teams in the SEC with Texas and Oklahoma joining the SEC.
Never any drama with those two programs.
No, not at all.
No.
But, there are some interesting tidbits about some of the teams that are going to be coming to Mississippi now. Let's talk a little bit about it. We're going to start things off with Vic Schaefer.
Sure.
So Vic Schaefer, we all know, former Mississippi State women's basketball head coach, led the Lady Bulldogs to 2 straight national championship games, no wins. Now he coaches at Texas, and Texas is coming back.
Yeah, they're coming back to the hump. Well, I don't know if Texas has been here, so I guess Vic Schaefer is coming back to the hump. I can't wait for this. I mean, this is going to be so many storylines. That's what us in the media, we love storylines, right?
Yeah,
we love a good story. And, I mean, it's not a question. Vic Schaefer has definitely deep emotional attachments to Starkville, and I'll be very curious to see what kind of reception he'll get from fans, because on one end, he took this program to heights that they've never been to.
True.
Quite frankly, I mean, like you said it, back-to-back, national championship games. But on the other hand, are fans going to be a little bit salty that he left and went to Texas? Now, I know he's obviously from Texas, but still, it's got to be something to think about. What do you think the reception will be for him? Because you've been around him in that program much longer than I have. I've been here, a couple of years. But
I kind of have mixed emotions about it. Not only did he leave and go to Texas, but then last year he took the best player out of Mississippi to Texas with him, and Madison Key.
Yep.
So
Madison Booker, that's right.
Yeah, Madison Booker. Yeah, and so he's been, a thorn in Mississippi State side even after leaving. But when he was here, he did so many great things. I miss saying praise the Lord and go Dogs. I mean, that was one of my favorite things when he would finish up his press conferences. So, like you were saying, he has a lot of ties here to the area. I think the reception is going to be warm. I think it's been enough years that have passed by that the fans are going to be able to appreciate what he did while he was here, because they haven't been back to that place since. So hopefully it'll be a warm reception, because he deserves it.
And also, I mean, let's face it, he hasn't had the same amount of success with Texas yet than he did with Mississippi State.
True.
I think that plays a role in it. If he left for Texas and had already won a national title,
oh my goodness.
I don't know if the fans would be as warm and welcoming to him as they would be now, where he's taking them to a couple Elite Eights, but not the same heights that he took Mississippi State to. So that's always interesting too. But I'd like to think that Mississippi State fans would be appreciative of what he did for the program, but time will tell.
Yeah, no vitriol there for Coach Schaefer, so hopefully it'll be a warm reception. Sticking with Texas, another Texas team coming to Mississippi, the men's Texas basketball team, but their storyline's a little different because their former coach is now here in Mississippi coaching at Ole Miss.
Yeah, Chris Beard, obviously the Ole Miss head coach, he will be facing Texas for the first time. So since obviously he was fired, and a very, very quick brief oral history, while he was with Texas, he was arrested, charged with assault. He was fired. After he was fired, the charges were dropped. The domestic violence case did not proceed. And then Ole Miss ended up hiring him. So he's going to be facing his old team. And I'll just tell you, he'll tell us at a press conference, I guarantee you it's just another game. It's been a long time. Whatever other cliche in the book that you can think of. But there's got to be some emotion here. I mean, he went to Texas. That was, he grinded and got so successful that he was offered that job and got to be there for a couple years. So to face your former team that you have that much of an emotional attachment to, I mean, that'll be a big night for Chris Beard, whether he says it or not, I think. I don't know what you'd think.
But. Yeah, and like you were saying, it's not like he left under the best circumstances.
Sure.
So definitely has to be emotional. You're going to look across and you're going to see players you recruited. You're going to see, people that you may have worked with in the past on that other sideline. So
Rodney Terry, the headliner, I mean, he was his assistant while he was there.
Exactly. So, I think, they're hopefully before the game starts, they can get out of the hugs and emotions out, and when it tips up, it's just basketball. But yeah, he'll say to you all that it's just another game. But
another game. I don't think about it like you guys do. I'm focused on every game individually. He'll say whatever to not create a distraction. I would do the same thing if I was a head coach in the SEC, but I am not. And the only other thing that I really noticed from here was that Ole Miss and Mississippi State women's hoops will only play one time next year. That's a little strange. I'm not that much of a numbers guy in this instance, so I don't know the last time that happened was, if ever, but that'll be pretty interesting. So those are the 3 main takeaways I got from it.